So number 5 on the back side of the indirect measurement paper. There's no picture, we need to draw one. It tells us there's a 42-foot flagpole near the Washington Monument that casts a 14-foot shadow. So I'm going to draw a flagpole. It depends on where the sun is. So I have a 42-foot flagpole, and I did not draw that to scale, and it's about a 14-foot shadow. The Washington Monument, remember, looks something like this. It's big and tall and has a point at the top. It has a shadow of 185 feet. We do not know how tall the Washington Monument is. I don't even see any shapes here. How can we even do this? There's not shapes. How can we do things with similar figures if there's no shapes? Because the sun shines at the same angle. We know that that forms a triangle. Two 90-degree angles are here. The sun has to shine at the right angle. The same angle, I'm sorry, because they're close. If two angles are the same, the third has to be the same. In a triangle, why? If I have two angles that are the same in a triangle, why does the third one have to be the same? Luke? Good, because it has to add up to the same number, 180 degrees. Questions about our picture? How am I going to figure out how big this are? They have to be similar figures, and I have two similar triangles, so that means there has to be a what? There's a... Haley? Good, there's a scale factor. How am I going to figure out what the scale factor is based on my drawing so far? Trey? Ooh, these are the two that we know. Trey says we're going to put 185 over 14. Tell me why you put the 185 on the top, Trey. Does the bigger number always go on the top? No. What is it about our drawing that says the big number has to go on the top? Luke. We have to go from what we know. We know the 42 and we don't know this, and that triangle's getting bigger. Here's what we know, that's the 14. Here's what we don't know, the 185, it's getting bigger. Do you want to keep that as a fraction or change it to a decimal? Keep it as a fraction. If you want to, you can do it as a decimal at your desk. This is my scale factor. Now that I have my scale factor, how do I use that to figure out my missing side length right here? How do I know how big the Washington Monument is? I'm not calling on Trey anymore. Ty, why do I multiply by 42 over 1? What's special about that? And those two sides are what? Good. This is the side that corresponds to what I don't know. It matches what I don't know. So I'm going to multiply by 42. I think 42 and 14, it goes in there 3 times, right? So I like to find factors right away. 42 can be divided by 14 3 times. So I took a factor of 3 out of the top and the bottom. You don't have to. You could use the big numbers, but I try never to do that because I hate it. 3 times 185 is 555. What's my label? Feet. You take the two corresponding sides that you know and make your scale factor. Someone tell me again, how do I know if the big one goes on the top or the little one goes on the top? How do you tell? Quincy?
If the monument is getting bigger, if you're going to a bigger number, it goes on top.
Good. If my scale is getting bigger, if my picture is getting bigger, the big number goes on top. If it's shrinking, the little one goes on the top, so it would have to be less than 1. Once I find my scale factor, what do I do? Once I find my scale factor, how do I find my missing side length? How do I find my missing side length? Once I have my scale factor, how do you find the missing side length? Go ahead, Ty. Perfect. You find the corresponding side, and then you simplify.